Yeah, good morning. All. Okay, I have managed to get the pipe in. It's rather difficult. And as with every job that you do first time, only one-off job, there's always a, should have done and could have done scenario. You always think after you've done it of a better way of doing it or an easier way of doing it. But having said that, now that it's in, I'm not pulling it out again, so anyway. Grab the torch. I don't sort of need it here. So managed to get the two pipes. You can only sort of see one, but there is two of them there, the bigger and the smaller. And and that was really, really difficult to sort of push it in place. Like I put a little bit of a bend in it here, but then at the front here, before I pushed it right in. But then, because I'd put that little bit of bend in it, it was pushing it over and it was catching on things, and it actually tore a little bit of the insulation, even though, like I wrapped it in electrical tape, and that's one of the coulda, shoulda dones. I should have wrapped it a bit tighter, I think, tried to make the whole package a bit smaller. Possibly, if I'd used duct tape instead of electrical tape, might have helped. Made that little bit stronger. The main issue was just behind your pedal shaft. There seems to be a bar sticking up, like a piece of flat bar or angle bar or something sticking up, and that was the main place where it was actually catching on. I didn't realise that for a while, and I ended up wedging a bit of metal on top of it so I could slide over it. But this is still sort of too loose to, the grommet on its own isn't going to hold that. It'll pull the grommet in, so I'm going to have to put a saddle clamp inside. The only place I can really access it is through the gear shift hole. I'll grab the torch, I'll show you. But yeah, that's sort of, you need a saddle clamp there anyway, because you're going to keep it away from the gear shift. I've got a bit of wire. That was the other thing I was using to pull it up, so I had a wire hook on here. It was pulling the whole thing up, but I'm going to have to pull it up and put a saddle clamp in the side, around this side here, hold it away from the gear stick, and also to hold it off that piece of bar. As I said, there appears to be there's a bit of flat metal sticking up just behind the shaft, and it was catching on that, and I don't want it sitting on that because it'll eventually rub a hole in it. Looking up the back here, again we had another difficult situation. I had to cut away a little bit of this because the hole I put in it, which is the only place I can really put it, like you got your torque rods below that, so you have to come up above your torque rods, and it meant that I had to actually cut a little bit of this panel here and fold it down. I'd already cut it away in here a bit anyway, but yeah, to cut it a bit more. I cut it in there because it was just to make it easier to access the coupling, but yeah, so I'm gonna have to, that's gonna be right in the way of the gear shift coupling now, so I'm gonna have to put another saddle clamp and pull it right back over here out of the way. You can see this is actually bulged up a bit because I've been pushing and pulling, and it's been catching. There's so many obstacles in there, and the one thing I'd forgotten about because I don't even have them anymore, was the pipe that held the cable for the heater system. There's two of them that poke out here and there, and they were cut off here because they were rusted away, and I decided not to use the heater system anyway. But they still run inside, and they're too close to the floor to get the pipe under there. Oh, you know, only because I've covered it in this insulation. So, but it has to go under pieces up here and then come up over the top of these heater cable pipes. And so, yeah, that was a difficulty too. So, but as I said, yeah, we got it in there. I do have enough pipe in the back here now. See if I can bang my head on. Oh, I'm thinking about it now. I probably won't bang my head now because I'm conscious of it. But yeah, so we've got another pipe now. So I'll peel some of that insulation back, like right back past where the grommet will go. Oh, I could just... Actually, if I sort of put a saddle clamp, I probably won't even need a grommet here. As long as it's not moving, I can cut back the insulation and just silicone over the insulation. Yeah, probably won't even need a grommet, but yeah, I've got to separate these pipes now. I've got them taped up and yeah, run the main line, yeah, up across the top here and meet up with here. And that's all greasy still. I had the yeah, seal leaked on the where the axle housing comes out of the gearbox, and I thought it was a CV at the time. I thought it was grease, but it was actually gearbox oil. And I never did get around to washing it off, so yeah, that's still all greasy in there. It's all over the hose, all over everything. But anyway, I don't know if I'll bother with it too much. Prevent it rusting, if anything. But yeah, so yeah, one will go one way and the other one will go the other way. Yeah, I'd like to show in here what I would have liked. What I originally sort of wanted. I wanted a bit more pipe. So you can see how much excess I've got in the back. I've got more than I need, but I wanted to be able to pull more of this pipe through, but it's just too difficult. Like, it's difficult to bend this, and then yeah, as you go, bend it a bit, bend it a bit, bend it a bit, pulling it through, and in the meantime it's all catching and jamming everywhere through the tunnel. So I've decided to, yeah, give up on trying to pull any more of it through. What I did want, like the main fuel pipe, which is this bigger one, that'll be fine. But the return line, you can't see it because it's behind the main pipe, but oh, you see it there. But yeah, this return line, I did want it to come up, right up and run through this drain hose. This is the drain hose for your ventilation. And yeah, I didn't want to chop another hole in here. There isn't really room. So yeah, I'm going to have to run a copper pipe through here and out the top. So I can't do a rubber pipe through there because it'll block it up too much. It'll be too much of an obstruction for this drain hose. But yeah, so I did want the copper return line to come all the way up and poke up through here to there. So that was all one piece without a join. But yeah, it's just not going to open now. So yeah, it means I'm going to have a bit of rubber from there to there, rubber hose into the copper pipe, and then rubber going back again to the fuel tank, which is, yeah, not really what I wanted. You try to get, yeah, the least amount of joins as you possibly can, yeah, because every join is a place where it can leak from, so. But anyway, that's the way it is, so that's the way it is. That's as far as I can get it through. And yeah, anyway, we'll leave it at that. I won't be able to test it for a while. I'll get the gearbox back together and get all that back in, but I won't be able to do to test it for a while, because I need to leave the no, I could put the fuel tank back in, but I'd rather not, because it's a much more difficult job to get the bull bar back on once you get the fuel tank in, because you've got several bolts and plates and things, which, once you've got the tank in, then you've got to take the wheels off and jack it up and try and access it from the wheels. So at the moment it's really easy to get to. So yeah, it's just gonna have to wait till I get me the gear shaft bush, and get that in, get the bull bar back on, and then we'll get the tank back in. So yeah, that's basically as far as the lines go for the moment, or out the front anyway. I said I'll hook the back up, get the fuel tank, get the gearbox and engine back in, but yeah, then it'll be waiting on the gear shaft bush. Alright, thanks for watching. Bye.